Welcome friends, we are learning the topic of root locus techniques. We discussed two very typical examples of root locus problem. Let us today pick up the most frequently asked questions on the root locus in the exam. So the two root loci problem we are going to discuss are the first one is the open loop transfer function k into s plus 1 divided by s square into s plus 3.6, and the second one is k into s plus 1 divided by s into s minus 1. So let us discuss these two root loci problems one by one. Let me also share with you that with my students I have shared the two video lectures on YouTube on the complementary root locus problem, in which the salient features of the complementary root locus problem are discussed, and the difference between the direct root locus technique and the complementary root locus technique are also explained properly. So if you follow those two video lectures, the topic will be clear to you. And just to summarize, let me introduce that when we are taking the open loop transfer function, say gs into hs equal to, in the form of monic, which we can express as gs hs equal to k into s plus z1 into s plus z2, like that, divided by s plus p1 into s plus p2 and so on. So here in this form, this is called the monic presentation, where it is in the form of s plus something. So when we are trying to see that the problem is of a system where we have given the positive feedback to the plant, say you have the gs and you have the reference input rs, which is a positive input, ys is there, so you are taking the positive feedback of the output hs, and you are taking a positive feedback of the output with k equal to k greater than 0. So in this case we have the characteristic equation of the form of 1 minus gs hs. So here we use inverse root locus or complementary root locus or inverse root locus. Similarly, the case when it is the negative feedback system and k less than 0 and the open loop transfer function is of this form, then we go for the complementary root locus technique. So with this idea and two video lectures will help you understanding the complete technique. Other fundamentals are same as it is in the direct root locus technique. So let us start with the problem we are planning today. The first problem we are going to take is the gs. Draw the root locus for the open loop transfer function gs hs equal to k into s plus 1 divided by s square into s plus 3.6. So this is the problem. So we do the things step by step. We start with finding the open loop poles. So open loop poles are at double pole at the origin is 0, 0, and the third pole is minus 3.6, and open loop 0, it is at minus 1. So with that we can find out that the number of asymptotes which will terminate at infinity can be determined by number of SYMPTO TS equal to, where k will tend to infinity, will be the termination along the asymptote. So we will have this equal to n minus m is equal to 3 minus 1 equals to 2. So we have two branches of the root locus terminating at infinity. So we will continue by drawing the root locus plot by hand. So we have the 0 at minus 1, we have 0 at minus 1 and pole at minus 3.6. Minus 3.6, and there are double pole at the origin. So double pole at the origin. So the trajectory between minus 3.6 and minus 1 is the locus, because there are odd number of poles and zeros to the right of this. So this is the locus. So naturally the root locus will evolve from the pole at k equal to 0. K equal to 0. Here you have k equal to 0. Here you have k equal to 0. And here k tends to infinity. So here it is entering the root locus at origin at 0, which is at minus 1, and the other two branches will be terminating at infinity starting from the origin. So let us find out. The next step should be, so step 3, let us find out the centroid, that is the crossing of the asymptotes at the real axis. So if we ask for the phase, that is the angle of asymptote, that is 2q plus 1 into 180 divided by n minus m, poles minus zeros. This is equal to, for q equal to 0, 1, 2 up to n minus m minus 1. So this should be equal to 2q plus 1, this is 180, and n minus m is 3 minus 1 equals to 2. So this becomes 90 into 2q plus 1, and your value of q varies from 0 to 1. So therefore it should be equal to q equal to 0 90 degree and q equals to 1 is 270 degree. So the next one is find out the centroid. So step 4, minus sigma a is equal to sum of the poles. So sum of the poles is 0, 0 and minus 3.6 minus sum of the zeros, minus of minus 1 divided by n minus m is 2. So this is 2.6 by 2, this is 1.3. So this should be minus sign in front of it, minus sign. So this is the centroid, so we can draw it to keep us understanding. This is sigma plus j omega. This is double pole at the origin. This is 0 at minus 1, then pole at minus 3.6. So we have done up to this. So this minus 1.3 is the point where we will have these straight line asymptotes just at 90 degree and 270 degree. So this is like that, the vertical line. So our next job is to find out the breakaway points and the angle of departure. So step 5. So to find out the breakaway point, we have to determine the characteristic equation 1 plus GSHS equal to 0, which means that 1 plus K into S plus 1 divided by S square into S plus 3.6 should be equal to 0, which means if I multiply and take it to the other side, it will become K into S plus 1 equals to minus S square S plus 3.6. This is equal to K is minus, bring S square inside, so it becomes S cube, then plus 3.6S square divided by S plus 1. So both sides have been divided by S plus 1, so K equal to this one. So to find the breakaway point, we have to differentiate K with respect to S. How it should become? It should come as dk by ds equal to, so we can keep minus outside because anyway this is going to become equal to 0, so minus you keep outside, so S plus 1 into derivative of this is 3S square plus 7.2S then minus of S cube plus 3.6 square into derivative of S plus 1 is 1 to 1 divided by S plus 1 whole square. So denominator doesn't play any role here because I am going to make dk by ds equal to 0, implies that you take the numerator inside the bracket equal to 0. So we have S plus 1 into 3s square plus 7.2s minus S cube minus 3.6 square. So this is equal to 0, which means you have 3s cube plus 7.2 s square plus 3s square plus 7.2s minus s cube minus 3.6 square. So this should be equal to 0. So from this we collect the equal powers together. So 3x cube minus 3s square, this becomes 2s cube. Then all s square will come together. So 3s square minus 3.6 square is minus 0.6. Then with 7.2 it becomes plus 6.6 square. Then we are left with 7.2s plus 7.2s. So all are considered equal to 0. So take the 2 common, it becomes s cube plus 3.3s square plus 3.6s equal to 0. So from here you can take s common and the quadratic you can solve easily, plus 3.3s plus 3.6 equal to 0. So if I solve it using the same formula as I explained in all my previous lectures, so I have s equal to 0 and then s equal to minus b plus minus root b square minus 4ac divided by 2a, and this becomes minus 1.65 plus minus j 0.936. So you take a pause here and solve it yourself. So we understand that the breakaway point 3 points, 2 are complex and 1 is s equal to 0. So if you go back to see the root locus, you will see that the point where we should break away is, according to s equal to 0, we should break away from this point. We should break away from this point like this, but we don't know the angle where it is, in which direction it is breaking away. So we need to find out the angle of departure as well as the crossing of imaginary axis. So our next job is step 6, to determine the angle of departure. So this should be equal to, because only 2 terms are here, I have double pole at the origin, so I don't know exactly how the how the root locus will proceed and how it will emerge. So it is wise here to obtain the characteristic equation for the crossing of imaginary axis. So this will give us a good idea about how the root locus will emerge from the pole pair at the origin. So let us see earlier that we have the characteristic equation 1 plus k into s plus 1 divided by s square into s plus 3.6. So from here we can obtain the characteristic equation. So that should be, from here you multiply, become s cube plus 3.6 s square plus ks plus k to 0, implies that you have the characteristic equation, and from here you can draw the Routh array. So Routh array can be drawn from here. So let us draw it. S square, s power 1, s power 0. So this is 1, sorry, it starts from s cube. So this is 1, 3.6, then k, then 0, 0, like that. So you have to go like this. So from here we can see that this into this, this into this, minus this into this, divided by this will come over here. So therefore that can be easily calculated as 0.72k, and because here we have both the zeros, so we get 0 over here and k comes over here. So therefore for getting the auxiliary equation, this part should be all 0. So I am trying to see that k equal to 0, so that this gives the auxiliary equation a is equal to 3.6 square plus k. So here k equal to 0, 0. So therefore s equal to 0. So from here we understand that there is no other crossing point at the imaginary axis other than so from here we can see that there is no crossing point other than the origin. So we understand that the root locus could be drawn like this. We have seen that this is the sigma and g omega axis, and you have double pole at the origin and a 0 at s equal to -1 and a pole at s equal to -3.6. Then we have an asymptote at -1.3. So let us draw an asymptote at minus 1.3, the asymptote over here. So this is at 90 degree. So now we see that imaginary axis is not crossed, but it is only touched at the origin. So we can see that the roots can emerge from here like this, and along the asymptote it will go to the infinity like this. So at this point we have to note that whenever we are saying that the root locus will not cross the imaginary axis, then we should understand that it will be a symmetric structure about the real axis. So the root locus should be a tangent to the imaginary axis at the origin and touching the pair of poles. So that is why the shape of the root locus should be like this, and it is emerging from here. So it will emerge and it will arrive at k equal to infinity, and similarly the root locus on the real axis will be like this. So at 0 and emerge from infinity and emerge from the pole. So therefore we have two of the root locus branches at terminating at infinity. So k tends to infinity, and here also k tends to infinity, and 0 gives k tends to infinity, but the pair of poles at the origin from where the root locus will start, and similarly at pole minus 3.6 the root locus will start. So this is the way how we should draw the root locus for this problem. So we have to analyze the situation. However, there are the most common situations and common type of problems which could be asked in the exam. I will share those problems with you, but this is a special case I wanted to discuss with you. So next kind of problem in which I am interested, so that I can discuss with you, a very important and very frequently asked questions in the exam, and you should understand the importance of this problem. So let me write down the problem for you. So we have a unity feedback system. Whenever I am writing unity feedback system, it means a unity negative feedback system with open loop transfer function as GSHS equal to k into s plus 1 divided by divided by s into s minus 1. So this is open loop unstable system, and we have to verify that the root locus verify that the root locus is a circle with radius of root 2 and center at minus 1 comma 0. So we have to follow the same construction technique of the root locus. Let us follow the construction technique of the root locus. So we have GSHS hs equal to capital K into s plus 1 divided by s into s minus 1. So step 1 is the poles and zeros of open loop. So poles are at s equal to 0, 1 and zeros. There is only one zero at s equal to minus 1. So step 2, number of straight line asymptotes ASI MPTOTES asymptotes is equal to n minus m is equal to 2 minus 1 equals to 1. So there is only one branch of the root locus that will terminate at infinity or k equals to infinity. So the third step is basically we have to find out the asymptotes, so its centroid and the angle of the asymptote. So let phi a be the angle of asymptote is 2q plus 1 into 180 is 180 degree divided by n minus m is 1. So we have only one value for k equal to 0, that is 180 degree. So let us understand how it should come. So another one step we'll do, then we can plot it. That minus sigma a is the centroid, is the sum of poles minus sum of zeros divided by n minus m. So sum of the poles is 0 and 1 is 1 minus sum of the zeros is minus 1 divided by 1. So this is equal to 2. So we can understand that the centroid will be there on the positive side of the real axis at minus sigma equals to 2. So from this, let us plot it on the sigma and g omega axis, So we have the poles at 0 and 1. 0 and 1 are the poles, and minus 1 is the 0. So minus 1 is the 0. So I have centered at 2. So I take this as 2.2. So as of now, this information is not sufficient to draw the root locus, because from the question we understand that we have a circle. So we have to do few more activities to get the information required. So next we shall be finding out the breakaway point for this root locus. So to find out the breakaway point, we have the characteristic equation as k into s plus 1 divided by s into s minus 1. So this will give us, this is equal to 0, implies that k equals to minus of s into s minus 1 divided by s plus 1. So from here we can write further that k equals to s minus s square divided by s plus 1. So therefore dk by ds equals to s plus 1 into 1 minus 2s minus s minus s square into 1 divided by s plus 1 whole square. So from here if this is equal to 0, then only numerator is important for us. S minus 2s plus 1 minus 2s, then s minus 2s square plus 1 minus 2s minus s plus s square equal to 0. So 2s will be cancelled out and we are left with minus s square minus 2s plus 1, or s square plus 2s minus 1 equal to 0. So this can be solved for s. So we get s equal to minus b plus minus root b square minus 4ac divided by 2. So this will give us minus 2 plus minus 2 square is 4, then minus of minus 4 is again 4, so 4 plus 4 is 8 by 2. So from here we get s equal to minus 1, then this is plus minus, because here you are getting minus 2 plus minus 2 root 2 by 2. So this is minus 1 plus minus root 2. So interestingly, here we get a good idea about the breakaway of the root locus, and you can plot it suitably. So again we can obtain the root locus like this. We have hole at origin, then hole at the origin, and plus 1 sigma j omega, then minus 1 is the 0, minus 1 is the 0, and so from here we have the path of the root locus as this one. So this one is one path of the root locus, and another path is this one. So again, when I am getting minus 1 minus root 2, so from here up to root 2 is this much, 1.4 minus 1.414. So this is the point, minus 2.414 is equal to minus 1 minus root 2, and here plus 1.414. So this is minus 1 plus root 2, this point will be 0.414. So we will have somewhere here, this is minus 1 plus root 2, which is equal to 0.414. So these two are the breakaway points. So we understand that up to here the Loci will be there with arrow like this, because it will terminating at 0, then Loci will be evolving like this, and the breakaway is like this. So if we investigate further, we will understand that the point where the root locus is crossing the imaginary axis plays vital role in this problem solving. So the next step is step 6. Step 6 is the crossing of imaginary axis through the Routh array. So we have to see the characteristic equation where we got 1 plus k into s plus 1 divided by s into s minus 1. So equal to 0. So from here we get the characteristic equation like this: s square minus s plus ks plus k equal to 0, which implies that we have s square plus k minus 1 s plus k equal to 0. So from this we can draw the Raoult array. Raoult array as s square power 1 s power 0 divided by 1 k minus 1 k. Here we have 0 and all 0, so this is also k and others are 0. So from here we can verify that if this is all 0, then this can give us the auxiliary equations. Therefore we need to make k minus 1 equal to 0, implies that k equals to 1, and once k equal to 1 we have s square plus k as the auxiliary equation. So this is square plus 1, and the roots of the characteristic equation will give us s equal to plus minus j1. So once we solve for it, we can mark it on the root locus. Let us draw a fresh root locus to accommodate all our findings till now. So we have the sigma and j omega. We have the pole at the origin and pole at s equal to 1, then 0 at minus 1, then we have the point of 0.414, which is equal to minus 1 plus root 2, and here we have minus 2.414, that is equals to minus 1 minus root 2. So here we have the two breakaway points for the root locus at minus 1 minus root 2 and minus 1 plus root 2. So we can see that the portion of the root locus which lies on the real axis is this, and is this. So here it is terminating at 0 with k tends to infinity, and here it is emerging from pole. So again at the imaginary axis the crossing point is plus minus j1, so we have plus minus j1 plus j1 plus j1. So what we can conclude that if center is at minus 1 and 0, then we have to find out the distances, this one, then the distances this one, then the distance this one. So from minus 1 to minus 2.414, naturally this length is root 2, because minus 1 minus of minus 1 minus root 2, this length is root 2. So again from here to here we see that the length is minus 1 plus root 2 minus of minus 1 minus of minus 1. So this is again equal to root 2. So this length is also root 2. Now let us find this, the third length, which we are saying this one. So here we have one length as 1 and another one is the minus 1. So from here we can find out this length is square root of 1 square plus minus 1 square. This is equal to square root of 2. This length is also square root 2. So we have find out a center points and 3 other points with length root 2, root 2, root 2. So definitely these are the radius of the circle with center at minus 1 and 0 and radius root 2. So we can understand that this will form a root locus which is of the circular shape. So let us draw the root locus which is of the circular shape, and it will go like this. So from here it will emerge and it is emerging like this, it is emerging, and so there are 2 poles. So there should be 1 0 and 1 root locus branch terminating at infinity. So this will terminate at k tends to infinity. So this is how we can draw the problem of a given open loop transfer function, and from there we determine the characteristics and eventually we come up with the root locus. So these are the 2 very common examples of root locus and very frequently asked in the exam. Few more examples of root locus I want to share with you, where we have figure 1. This is figure 1 and this is figure 2. This is A, B, C, D, E, F. It is again A, B, C, D, E and F. So these are all frequently asked questions in the exam. And the first figure, we have a 0 at s equal to minus 2, double pole at s equal to minus 3, and there are a complex pole pair at minus 1 plus j0. So for this the pattern of the root locus should be clear to you. Similarly, another example I am sharing with you, that is the figure D, where I have a pole at the origin and a complex pole pair at minus 1 plus j1. So for this example you should be clear with the pattern of the root locus, because in the exam there are situations like we have drawn, as in example figure 1e. We see that the imaginary axis is not crossed, but there is a tangent to the pole pair at the origin. So the root locus should be of this pattern. You have to be careful about that. Similarly, you can see the figure 1c, where we have a pair of zeros at minus 1 plus j4, and we have 3 poles, one at the origin, another at the minus 1, another at the minus 2. So this is also very commonly asked question. Similarly, in figure 2 we can see that the presence of double pole at minus 0.5, one pole at minus 2 and one 0 at minus 4 will give the shape of the root locus like a bow. Similarly, in figure 2d we see that very interestingly it is the shape of a fish, where you have a double pole at the origin, a 0 at minus 1 and a pole at minus 9. So these are all very frequently asked questions, and if you practice it well, then you can attempt the problems given in the exam. Even if it is unknown to you, you will be able to solve and draw the root locus for that. So this is all the points we have to discuss in the root locus techniques, and there are more varieties of problems in root locus which are seldom asked in the university exams. So you need to prepare from all these problems as discussed in the lecture. So this much is for today. If you find this lecture useful, please like the video, subscribe the channel, set the bell icon, and queries can always be sent to me through the email ID controlsystemsfaq@gmail.com. My students can send me queries through WhatsApp and my mobile number also. So thank you for your patient listening.